Before I get started with today's video, I just wanted to clear up something. I keep getting private messages that I stole the concept of my channel from Armored Skeptic. This is absurd. While I was certainly inspired by his channel, among others, I did not steal his concept. In fact, I do more than just response videos. So quit accusing me of stealing ideas from Armored Skeptic. I don't do that, ever. Now, to find a video to pwn.
Trying to find a video to pwn.
Okay, I never really got any messages. I just wanted to do a little tribute to Armored Skeptic because he really was the primary inspiration for the concept of this channel. Now let's get started with the show, shall we? I give you why atheists are stupid.
Alright, so a message to all the atheists out there. It's getting pretty popular. I mean, like, a lot of people out there are atheists nowadays. Like, it's just like, I don't know, I guess it's because, like, nowadays, like, being smart is cool, and because atheism, it revolves around, like, I don't know, I look at it as a religion that like, the answer to everything is what science says, and that, like, would be, like, the more intelligent people.
To be honest, we are not all intelligent, but for the most part we are. At least according to a study recently performed that showed atheists to have a higher IQ. But what does that mean, really?
But anyway, some of the points against it, a lot of you have no idea what the fuck you are talking about. There's some points against it that are pretty valid. The biggest two are that Holocaust was a result of it, and it was. I'll prove that in a second.
Oh, please get to that quickly. I mean, if the lack of belief in a God caused a self-proclaimed Catholic to start an extermination of Jews, this really must get out there. I mean, it would change the entire way we look at the reality of the situation.
And that it and communism go together.
I'm sorry, but that was retarded. How do a political ideology and a lack of belief in fairy tales go together? I really hope you can mumble out all that proof soon.
So, let's start off with the Holocaust. Basically, like, the reason why Hitler did what he did, which is kind of interesting, like, people don't, it's kind of hard to grasp.
Apparently, it's hard to explain in any kind of coherent manner, too.
Like, what would go through someone's mind to actually, like, do something that horrific?
No, not really. Hitler wanted power, so he used Catholicism to influence people into giving him power, and later used other tools of influence, including social Darwinism, to get people to do what he wanted them to do.
And the reason why, like, that was about the time when genetics were being, like, discovered and, like, how it worked.
Actually, no it wasn't. The study of human genetics began with the applied and theoretical work of Gregor Mendel, who died in 1884, 55 years before the start of World War II.
And what else? Oh yeah, Darwinism, how that happened. And basically what we knew is that before, like, civilization, there were different tribes, and, like, each tribe, like, would be, like, basically a different race. Like, they would, like, if you took one tribe and then you, like, put a rival tribe next to it, they would have, like, sort of, like, maybe similar genetics, but kind of different.
What the fuck are you talking about? What about Hitler, the Catholic atheist communist? The world needs to know about this stuff. I mean, if we were all wrong about him and his motivations for all this time, and you have figured it out, stop talking about genetics and tribes and get to the fucking point.
And they would kill each other over who would pass on the genetics.
What? No, that's stupid. Rival tribes or rival countries tend to go to war over power and control over vital resources. In tribes, it was usually over territory, hunting territory, gathering territory, and so on. Tribes had no concerns or knowledge of genetics.
And, like, if you take one point on, like, and then, like, go really far out, the farther out you go would be, like, the more different genetics. Anyway, so Hitler thought that that's what he was basically going to do, was kill all these Jewish people, or really, like, it had nothing, a lot of people, like, don't understand. The Holocaust had nothing to do with religion.
Who the fuck says it was about religion? Hitler used religion as a tool to influence people and in an attempt to get the backing of the Catholic Church. He also used other things, the most powerful of which was the poverty of non-Jewish Germans, who he convinced that the Jews were responsible for their poverty by pointing out that they tended to still have their wealth. He also pointed out their unwillingness to fight in World War I as a tool to influence the already heightened anti-Semitism in all of Europe to new heights. These were tools he used to gain and keep power and further his goals. Some speculate that his hatred of the Jews themselves stems from his having a neglectful Jewish father.
It was all about race, and he thought that his race had more culture, had more soul, was more intelligent, and the world would be a better place just with the Aryan race, or his master race, the blonde-haired, blue-eyed people.
No, no, no. Again, he used racial purity as a tool. It was propaganda, just like his use of Catholicism, social Darwinism, and so on. He convinced the German people that they were better than others and must eliminate the lesser humans to keep their superiority intact. Where the hell are you getting your information?
Anyway, so he did his whole propaganda thing about how his race was better, kind of like Fox News, and he did what he did, and the reason why is because, as an atheist, he thought that the answer was to carry out evolution and have the better, more superior race survive in the future and be like the future of people.
No, it wasn't as an atheist. It was as a German. All the propaganda, as you already admitted it was nothing more than ways to influence the German people that the Nazis' way was the right way. It was also used to influence the Nazis into carrying out the atrocities that they did. Atheism had nothing to do with it.
On the world, and that the Polish Eastern European race and like the Jews, like, and the Gypsies, like the Sinti Romas, were not meant to survive in the future, and he was going to purify Europe and just take out, like, kill as many as he can so they wouldn't survive. Anyway,
all you've done was point out the propaganda he used, which, by the way, never contained atheism, only social Darwinism, which even all us evil atheists would never want as a controlling power in any society. I don't know who's been feeding you all that shit, but you really shouldn't be swallowing it. I mean, consumption of shit can't be good for you.
So, communism. They are like the same thing, communism and atheism.
No, they're not. Atheism is the simple lack of belief in a god. Communism, in a nutshell, is a social and economic system built upon the idea of common ownership of production and characterized by the lack of classes. They are not even in the same realm of thought, let alone the same thing. Seriously, guy, quit eating up all that shit people are feeding you. You're gonna get an ulcer.
Like, people really don't understand, like, how that works.
Including yourself, because it doesn't work like that.
But, I mean, if you look at it, like, and if you know your politics, like, communism, like, what it means is that everybody's equal, and, I mean, I don't know.
Did you just say you don't know? Then why the hell are you trying to tell other people what it is? And moreover, why are you trying to say it is the same thing as atheism, when it most assuredly is not?
Communism is really misunderstood. Like, it's looked at as evil in our society because the people who write our textbook and everybody, all the people who make up this country don't really, the enemy, that's the opposite of what we are. But anyway, enough of my, anyway, so, communism.
Yeah, communism.
All the, like, the people who make up communism and the big socialists, like Howard Zinn, Karl Marx, all of them, they're all, like, Stalin, Castro, they're all atheists.
Actually, only one of them is still alive, Castro, who, in his later life, has become quite the religious sympathizer, allowing the Catholic Church to return to Cuba in 1998. However, you are confusing correlation with synonymous, which is a huge stretch of the imagination.
And that's because in a communist society, the idea is that your life on Earth should be good. You shouldn't have to have a heaven for life. And
not that I'm a communist, but that does sound pretty good to me.
In a capitalist economy, people get screwed. Like, there's one side that thrives and there's one side that gets screwed. And
the side that screws people is the good side?
For the side that gets screwed, they really need that little extra bit of comfort to make sure that they'll have an afterlife, and that your life on Earth isn't parallel to hell. Anyway, so
atheism is stupid because it doesn't comfort the people who get screwed by a flawed system of governing them with false hope of an afterlife, but instead tries to help them while they are still alive by encouraging positive social changes no matter where those ideas have their roots, whether it be capitalism, socialism, communism, or whatever. That's really, really stupid.
And it's kind of interesting. Like, I listen to a lot of rap, and I notice not shitty rap, but real Tupac, Biggie, and Nas, and KRS-One, they all have no denying God. And that is because because they come up from the projects, they're the ones who get the shitty end of capitalism.
Well, that resolves the debate, doesn't it? That proves that atheism is stupid. Because just a handful out of millions upon millions of people born into poverty are able to beat the odds and build a better life for themselves, still believe in God. I wonder if two of those guys, the two dead ones you mentioned, are still thanking God for taking them out of the world at the height of their success.
And they're the ones that need that comfort, because otherwise they would just look at life as hell on earth.
You keep mentioning comfort as if that's all that's needed. Maybe if those people didn't receive all that comfort, they'd be more motivated to activism to effect change. Oh wait, there are people who do that, aren't there? So I guess that comfort just isn't enough.
Which it kind of is for them, but they have that little bit of comfort to at least think that it's not. But yeah, communism is definitely atheists because it's about having life on Earth be good, not life in heaven.
Okay, kid. I don't know how old you are. You look like a college-age kid to me, but you are very confused, which is made obvious by all the ums, likes, and whatevers. It is also made obvious by your complete lack of understanding of the subjects you are attempting to talk about. What really worries me about you is not your inability to understand that atheism and communism are not the same thing, but how you can see social prosperity for everyone as a bad thing, and poverty combined with the comfort of religious fairy tales of an afterlife as a good thing. However, I do believe I saw a hint of a spark in your eyes when you seemed to notice exactly what it was you were saying, and that caused you even more confusion, which is why you didn't even finish your video. Atheism is not a religion. It's the lack thereof, and atheists come in all shapes and sizes and political affiliations. Life on Earth should be good, and for you to even suggest that thinking so is a bad thing is really, really stupid.